Can Damien see us?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I was like, do we need to let him know who all's here? I'm talking about him like he can't hear me.
All right, we're live.
All right, we're gonna call the meeting for September 27th, 2023. Or it's the 28th, isn't it?
28th.
It's the 28th. That's typo. For September 28th, 2023 to order. And we're gonna do a roll call.
All right, yeah.
That's new. Wait, am
You're
I not
looking
looking at the right minutes?
Yeah, it's the wrong one. What do you have there?
What do I?
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
this
have
is
that sheet.
Economic Development Committee agenda.
Whoa.
Hold on, where did this come from? Let's get rid of that. Okay. Oh, no, that is the right date. So just call to order, no roll call.
It's like, I don't think I put that on there.
All right, first thing is gonna be the approval of minutes from August 24th, 2023 Parks and Recreation Committee meeting.
Is that a second? Is that
We need a
what that is?
motion for.
Motion,
Mhm, and
motion
then
to
a second.
pass.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then the staff report.
All righty. All right, so we have the haunted campground is still scheduled for October 21st. Vendor registration is scheduled to close October 1st. As we mentioned in the last meeting, by moving the vendors to the practice football field area, we were able to expand the number of vendors from 25 to 30. As a reminder, we'll be lining in front of the campground, that road right there, Lytton Way, will be lined with food trucks. We're just trying to make more space inside the campground because last year it was just so packed in one area. For the Main Street water fountains, I gave you guys an update on this last month that we were looking for options. We were able to purchase 2 new water fountains for the price it was going to cost us to fix the current ones. We believe in negotiations with Lexington and other parks departments that this will be a better option for the long haul. Playground resurfacing. So Next Generation had been working down at Smith's Fork for about the past 2 weeks. They've been at the location longer than expected due to a manufacturing issue that was out of their control. It has been resolved, and they will be completing Smith's Fork Playground by this weekend. As of today, everything is looking good, so they should be taking down the fence here soon.
So is it it's the one that we chose, they just had to redo it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a manufacturing issue with the bonding material. So they had to call someone out and fly them in. So yeah. Senior Center grant. So I don't really talk too much with you guys on Senior Center stuff, but I definitely will want to be doing this as this grows. Earlier this year, the mayor asked Alderman Wilson and Alderman Russell to form a committee to discuss community center needs and how the city can better serve senior citizens within the community. During those meetings, the need was discovered that a dedicated staff member to help the senior citizens would be beneficial. After discussion with Clay County Senior Services, we were encouraged to increase our 2024 grant ask for the Smithville Senior Center for a part-time staff member to assist all management, administrative, operational functions for older adults and the Smithville Senior Center. This position would be under the supervision of Parks and Rec Department. On September 25th, it was announced that Clay County Senior Services approved our grant for the part-time Senior Center coordinator effective January 1, 2024. So many of you may know or may not know, but I kind of manage the Senior Center, help them with the fitness classes that go on, as well as I do their grant and quarterly filing for to help them with that technology side of stuff. But yeah, so more role is going to be on our department for the Senior Center and getting them what they need to continue to be successful, not just at the Senior Center, but be a resource to senior citizens as well in the community. So Alex couldn't be here, she's still sick. So the recreation reports, as you can see, fall registration closed and some of the numbers, they're a few weeks into registration. You see fall soccer is up from last year, as well as fall T-ball and volleyball kind of stayed the same. So fall numbers we're good on that side. Facility reservations, feels like shelter houses are rented every weekend. Those are good. Had a good Boy Scout groups the past couple weekends. Let's see. And then as Danny was talking about before, we just have so many small little events, pop-up things. If you're not following our page and newsletter, do so, because if you have friends or family that want to get involved in these programs, they've been selling out quick. One of the big things to highlight is the Halloween one. That's a partnership we're doing with Clay County Parks and Recreation. It's going to be at the dog park. So if you have a pet, bring them out. And that's it on the staff report. Any questions? Anything that's been going on? You guys have questions about?
I do.
Yep.
It's just a random one. I've been asked by multiple parents, but like, do we have a contract with the person that takes pictures? Or do we is that something every year? Do we just reach out to the same person?
Yeah, we just reach out to the same person
Yeah.
because there's not many options here. Because we used to have, Chris he kind of took over Rudy's portraits.
Right.
So for Rudy's portraits, he was always Rudy's second-hand man.
Mhm.
And then once Rudy retired, he took over from there. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious because some parents, pictures are kind of expensive. And
I hear, yeah.
Is it just this, we have a contract with them, or do we kind of ask and,
Yeah.
have
Just
people
work
bid
on
on it?
Yeah. We can always ask for it. We could look at other options. I looked at, when I was in the rec manager position, I looked around and there wasn't many people that do it anymore.
Yeah.
We've looked at options of possibly just getting like a back banner and bringing it to the field one day and just letting everyone take a picture with their phone. Because we don't get any money out of pictures, so we don't get any percentage of sales or anything. It's just a service that we're providing.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I get that.
Yeah.
I think it's just, they are kind of
Yeah.
expensive, and it's just always the one guy. I didn't know if we bid that out or not. And then the other one was like with the jerseys, a lot of people miss the colorful jerseys because it was a big fight up there listening to the pictures because I was there early.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to wear, white or green, it's just anyway. So some people like the older jerseys too.
Well, we did this because we were getting a lot of complaints on not being able to get the color jersey they wanted.
No, I understand that too.
So, and there was words like favoritism and different things like that. So this was a solve that you could either be green or white and whatever one would be. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's good to know that because
Yeah.
I just have an answer now. 'Cause I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know.
For soccer or T-ball or?
For soccer.
Soccer's reversible green and white jerseys, which they're cool, they
Yeah.
feel like what I used to wear in like high school for like scrimmages and stuff,
Yeah.
but like,
Similar to what I-9 Sports does. They're either blue or red and they flip it in or out. Yeah.
no, but I don't have an answer. People ask me, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I know. Okay.
Yeah.
I do know, like, as a photographer, it is not a cheap venture to have like all the equipment plus like the programming and then everything that they need to take the pictures, edit the pictures, and then get it all to the right people. Like,
Right.
it is a process I would never want to be involved in because it is
Sounds like
such-
you should
it's
bid on it.
so busy. No, thank you. Like, in no way, shape, or form would I want to be involved in that. It's so involved, and like
Right.
having to get individual photos to all the different people and then taking orders and then getting prints and then getting them back to, it's like a whole thing. And
Yeah.
like, it's not a cheap thing to run as a business. And so, I do take my own kids' photos, but I like, they are expensive, but I don't feel like they're more expensive than like buying school photos though.
That's cool. So I don't know. I don't really pay attention. My wife does that. I was just listening to parents
Right.
complain, down
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
No, I get
Yeah,
what
and
you're
on the
saying.
jerseys too. So it was also easier we end up changing providers for the uniforms because of the issues we were having. If people sign up late, it was harder to get jerseys. This way we can order bulk
Yeah.
and get those who sign up late jerseys quicker. If someone got the wrong size, we could get them a jersey quicker too. So overall, it's like it was growing. It was just a lot easier because even for the colors,
Streamline your process.
so we had 150 kids in T-ball, so we had to get 10, we had to get almost 12 different types of color uniforms. And it was just so hard, like the providers were only having like 6 different colors, 6 or 7
Right.
different colors. So it was, people are having to put on pennies at games for T-ball. So it was just, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Well, I think definitely getting
Yeah.
the jerseys went a lot faster this year. Cause I was always one of the ones that would get like burned or have like a number.
Yep.
Like this on your jerseys. Like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
that's
so we went with a
embarrassing."
new provider, did a different style. We were able to get everything quicker and we were able to order bulk. That was quicker. So
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
streamline the little things.
Okay.
Does it work better for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Like,
they
Kids, I'm
weren't
like, the
sweating.
People putting in the work,
Yeah.
it's if you guys are the ones that
Yeah.
are satisfied with it.
They
I'm like,
they weren't sweating on a Friday, wanting to know if they're gonna have jerseys for games on the next Saturday. That's what
I
was
was
happening.
not.
That's what was happening in the past
No.
year, 2
Yeah.
years, even
Like
back from
3
Brigham too.
years,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
you know.
nobody will ever be satisfied with it.
I remember being up there at Brittany digging for jerseys to find
Yeah.
the right color one time.
Yeah.
Like up in that ball.
yeah.
That's great.
So this is this is just a trial for this sport. All the other sports have done the same jerseys as usual, but this is the easiest one since we don't partner with any other community right now. So
That's another thing too.
Yeah.
I was talking to a parent. I was like, man, when I was a kid, it was like Minder Plumbing was the name of my team.
Mhm.
Like sponsorship. Is that something we've looked at doing? Maybe
we haven't, it was more or less just the time
Yeah.
that goes into that, but to dedicate it to that, but no, we haven't. Right now, it's been affordable to do it within the registration process.
Okay.
So
I just
it's
remember when I was a
calculated
kid-
into the price of that. So
Okay.
to
I just
break
always
it.
remember, Like I was or Sears, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You're just always some
Yeah.
random community
Yeah,
Ace Hardware Cardinals or something.
And
Yeah.
we take sponsorships
Yep.
from
Yeah.
the community and like they get a banner and that kind of thing
Yeah.
too, but
that stuff will be pushing here in this next fiscal year. So
Okay.
look out for that.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah,
other questions for anybody on anything?
So I
Oh,
was gonna add to that, but Matt and I have had the conversation many times about getting getting places to sponsor the teams. We have a hard enough time getting people to put banners on the things. If you go look at the soccer field, I think there's only 2 this year. There's more on the baseball field. So we don't have the community support that some communities have when it comes to that.
gotcha. That makes sense. Alrighty. Anybody else have anything?
Nope, that's it.
All right. We are gonna move on to the boards and commissions banquet.
Yeah, this is just, we talked about this last time and I actually talked to Kyle at the career fair about this as well. But we are getting to the point now where we do have to RSVP. So here, if you don't have to tell me a day, but start checking your schedule, asking your significant others if they are going to attend and show up that way. I can get our table numbers for the city. So
Do you want us to bring spouses?
yeah, you're more than welcome to.
I'll be there. so.
Yeah.
Is it a dinner and a meeting or what is it?
So
exactly?
it's a banquet. So it'll be kind of formal
Okay.
in a sense. We have a speaker from Variety KC, which is the group. They're a non-for-profit that runs that helps fund playgrounds and different accessible equipment for people who are in need. So they're big in Parks and Rec world for helping get playgrounds funded and things like that for communities. Yeah. But then it's a dinner and there'll be a band. So it'll be
Dancing.
Yeah.
dinner.
some drink tickets. So it's also a networking event too. So
Okay.
there'll be committees like you are in every town from here south in the KC metro area. So be a good opportunity to meet and talk in that area. So
Perfect.
but that's November 17th, and I'll probably be sending you just emails directly about this, about getting that invitation ready to go. Oh gosh. What did I do?
You're over.
Right. And then was that all for that?
Oh, stop.
Everything's like flying around the screen. Next is the Emerald Ridge Park design discussion. Does anyone have anything else for the boards and commissions banquet before we move on? No, okay. All right, so let's move on to the park design, which is the biggest thing for tonight.
I'm gonna get this back up so the mayor can see it.
Yeah,
So this is two different sets, like two different.
they're kind of,
people's-
yeah, like bids.
Two different
Uh,
companies, yep.
So AFCO and Compin. That's fine.
Why is there not like a bottom bar here?
Can you minimize it? We'll pull it back up. Or if you zoom out, can you zoom out?
No.
No worries, you're good. Oh, it's like scrolling. Yeah. It's just running really far behind. There you go.
Damien's gonna get a very far view.
The tiny picture.
All right, we're back. Okay, so Emerald Ridge Park design. So year 3 of the Parks and Rec master plan is to update Emerald Ridge Park. This park is located on South Commercial and Kelly Drive behind Victory Chevrolet and Heritage Tractor. The park does not have ADA access to the playground equipment and does not have ADA access, and the playground equipment is not passing inspections. $450,000 was budgeted for the improvements in the fiscal year 24 budget. Staff is looking for feedback to send back to the companies before having public forum with the community. As you see underneath that picture, this picture here. This was Landworks gave us overall park concept designs that this committee approved back in October of last year when we worked to try to get the grant. So we kind of sped that up a little bit. But as you can see, the playground would stay to the south. We would have a shelter to separate the playground and the basketball courts. And then we also are having a walking trail around that as well. So the first design is with AFCO. So AFCO is the one that has the car design. So you should see this. They followed our discussions back in January of wanting to put a theme around it. Our theme was either tractor or car. It seemed from what from when I talked to him, the discussion was more car based, would be better interactive than the tractor. So he kept with that one. The servicing is poured in place that has the road along it. The playground is more of just a standard with some climbing materials, slide, some walking things around it, very similar to our kind of request to be similar to Diamond Crest and the simplicity of it. As you can see, it also has the wheelchair swing. This is something that is kind of their unique feature they have, where the wheelchair swing is be rolled up on, sat. That's on that far side. They also included a walk-in merry-go-round, the car wash feature, which I added a YouTube link if you didn't get to watch that. Basically, you can climb in and pull yourself through. They have the sign language board there because we wanted more sensory stuff, educational, and then the rockers. When I'm talking to them, as you see on here, you don't see the basketball court or the shelter. They did give us me design for the shelter, just a basic rectangle shelter, small. What they're looking for here is just feedback on the design of the playground, because that's where a majority of the cost is going to be. But he did reassure me that they're able to do everything: basketball court, concrete work, shelter, playground. So obviously all that's gonna cost. He didn't have the full cost right now because I only gave them about 3 weeks technically to get everything back to me. It's gonna take a little bit more time for them to get cost. But this is a design, and I think we have time. We're in no rush like we were previously when we were working on Diamond Crest because of the splash pad situation. But I want to make sure we take our time, let's get what we want and need in this, and then we can always dial back from there. Similar kind of what we did with Diamond Crest is that we had the big picture and then we got the budget and then we all sat here and started cutting back stuff. So we cut back the shade, we cut back some little things which dial back the price. So I would recommend right now when we're looking at this to just don't think about price just yet. That'll come later. So for right now, let's keep with Athco, and that's just give me your feedback on this. That way I can bring back to him for any updates.
I think it's fine. Yeah, I mean, and if we do have to cut anything, I mean, like the car wash might be one of the easy things to cut because we've got everything else, you know, it's cool. It's really cool. And I think it's awesome. I like it, but I think it adds to what Danny was talking to me about earlier today. At least there's some jungle gym-ish type stuff.
Yeah, I had a mom specifically today tell me like, we have no jungle gym structures in Smithville. And I was like, we have climbing things. And we
There's
have the hand over at Smith's Fork, but I'm like, I understand, like, we like the climbing things. This one I feel like is very climbing. It's great. My only concern with this playground situation is lack of like smaller child play things. So the rockers are great, but it's not necessarily like additional play structure, but like the car wash thing would be great. The rocker things would be great. But
Tracks.
those little things down underneath that are just like interactive, like
Okay.
those little plates, something like that underneath that's like interactive for the little kids, I feel
We
like
can
would be
do,
good.
if we can do the tunnel like we have at Diamond Crest, it's just the grass tunnel.
Yeah, just something like that
That's plenty, I think, too.
for the little ones, cause
Case is gonna get on you on that.
It's fine. He can get on me all he wants. He gets on me about side by sides every time I see him, so I'm fine.
Cause the slide is gonna be like the one at Heritage where it's like rope slide up to it, which is fine, but I
Make
feel
it-
like just something down.
I'm gonna make a
below.
modular so you can pull it out and clean it and push it back in.
Yeah, he did recommend, so I'll give kind of, because I asked
Don't
staff
have to
as
flip
well
that.
on this,
Yeah.
our maintenance staff, because obviously they maintain it and inspect it. Their feedback was they would like to stay away from the rockers.
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
you've been up to Heritage Park, we lost the horse.
It ran away?
What
Well,
happened?
it's just, people kept breaking it,
Yeah, I
so
know.
it feels like there's older kids hopping on those and rocking those back.
We talked about. that
Rocking
when
those
we-
back and forth.
Right.
And currently right now, we got a message from someone up at Diamond Crest that turtle rocker up there is also off its
Oh,
bolts
no.
have came out of
Off
it
its
because
rocker.
you can't see the bolts because they're underneath the turf, but it's rocking a lot further and you can see
Oh, further
it
than
coming
it
up
should.
off the turf. So the it seems like they're not lasting
Yeah, that's
as they should.
frustrating.
So that's their recommendation. So
To stay away from the rocker
yeah.
things.
and figure
I
out,
think that's fine.
I know we talked about that at Heritage because of the nostalgia stuff, and there's probably a reason they're not at a lot of parks because people break them, right?
I do know the one, like the blue playground that's up behind Little Platte Swim Beach, the one that's back there, like those have been broken a couple of times too.
Yeah.
and the mounds up there at Diamond Crest, they're not in the ground either. They're not like,
I know the hill is not attached.
yeah, so they're not attached, and so people are moving them all over the place. And so
Yeah.
so that would be the only thing. If we did do the rockers, he'd recommend that they're put in the ground.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Alrighty.
Can we add
put 3
steps to
springs
the
on 'em.
slide? Like actual steps so you can get up to it if you can't.
yeah, I'm
climb.
trying to see the view if there was
Awesome.
I agree with you.
Like a spiral thing,
Yeah, it-
staircase type thing.
Is there something?
It's like, it's a ladder is what it is. So I thought it was the rope kind, like what we have at Heritage, but it's actually like one of those ladders. It's like we have a rung here and a rung here, like back and forth.
It's got those swingy discs.
Yeah, let me see what you're.
I like the spinning discs. I think those are great. It looks like it looks like it has like a little, like structure, almost like a tree house piece up at the very top. I'm really close to my mic. I didn't realize I was like yelling into
Okay,
it. Sorry.
people can hear you. Gotta make sure. people
Love
can
the
hear.
merry-go-round, love the rocker swing. I think those are great.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find a video for you.
Yeah, even
Um,
the three main things in there,
I
like,
think it's like what I'm thinking is it's like a little inverted, like where you can take steps or you can crawl
yeah.
up
And then
it.
the other, well,
I'll
you've
see
got
if I
the,
can get you a video though.
For the slide.
For that, I wonder if they have one for that play set
Gotcha.
or that kind of structure that will go up.
yeah. There's a lot of climbing stuff there. I mean, even if we, if we have the three main things in there, or even the car wash, the fourth, and no rockers. I think
Even if
having the track's
like
fun.
the car wash, because it's a sensory thing and that's
Yeah.
great. It's good for all ages. But if we traded it out for like a swing set, I feel like that's a lot more adjustable for different ages.
I thought you didn't want swing.
I know, but people like
I don't
swing sets,
know.
like just because I don't care for swing sets.
I want to see.
Don't want to push my kid on a swing
But
set for hours.
that
but
may
he's
be a
screwing
spot
out
to
of it,
bring
so-
in like a 2.5 to 5 structure. though.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the car wash is kind of that 2.5 to 5 too, but.
Yeah, I was thinking like even if it's just a swing set that just had two swings on it.
It
like a
looks really
smaller one.
high off the ground here, but in the video, if you watch,
Low.
it's very, very low.
And
Car
then the-
wash.
Yeah.
They have them, so they have one at the zoo
So,
over by the
okay.
elephants, if you've ever been down that direction. And it's literally just like kids like pull their feet up in and then they like haul themselves through it and they just roll.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
That's
That's what the video shows is kids
yeah, and the
doing
kids
that.
love it.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Is it possible to add lights? Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
The problem we've struggled with lights is our parks close at dark technically, and we don't want to
Mm.
encourage people hanging out there, but
We should change
to what
that.
Matt and I have found out is they're gonna go anyway, and
Yeah.
lights might deter
I think-
vandalism,
yeah.
so. But
It's probably not a bad idea to have a safety light, not something that's like super bright, but something
Yeah.
that's gonna,
well, and if we can mount it to because you have a pretty tall structure in the middle of this,
Mhm.
and if we're gonna have basketball court, we can put a light.
or like somewhere, so we'll have the shelter house there.
Yeah,
We
shelter
could put some,
lights.
we could
yeah.
put something on the shelter that will,
Yeah, as long as we put electric to the shelter, we could put LEDs off of it.
yeah,
The LED spots are very inexpensive.
so if we'll make sure we get electric to the shelter and then we could add lights on both sides. And then that should light up there. Would that work?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that'd be.
'Cause people still go downtown and go
Yeah.
to works after they.
yeah,
close.
I agree with you. There should be some kind of safety there.
We'll show you where to turn on the lights at Heritage if you want
We
play-
should put
play
some on
basketball.
top of the hoops.
to blind you when you shoot. Have it flash right in your face.
All right. Do we have any other thoughts or feelings about?
One thing I may recommend is figuring out how this will work. So we have the concrete around the whole thing with the walkway. When it comes to maintenance, becomes depending on how wide it is, it may not be an issue, but if we just need to make sure it'd be wide enough for a mower to get through
Yeah,
there. If not, it would need to be lined up with the playground itself.
Like what we have at Diamond Crest, where
Yeah.
it's like touching. I
Yeah.
think that's fine. Like,
Okay.
I feel like I would almost prefer that because they can run the mower straight over the top of it if they have to.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I know we're not talking about the other one yet, but they made the comment that like their company will not install a wheelchair swing without a fence. This company didn't put a fence in the rendering, so I assume that they will put, they're not gonna. fence all
AFCO
their-
has told me that they have the safety. I think this swing they have here is unique to their company.
and the same thing with their merry-go-round, right? They're
Yeah.
both,
They're
they're
flat in
both
the
like
ground.
flat. to the-
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And
zero
I think,
entry,
I
so.
think the way it swings, that's why it's so far over there by itself, because it has to have enough space, safety space. I don't think I include that in there, but because it's more for me, but it's showing that it's their safety parameters around the equipment is safe to be around the other equipment, so.
Okay.
It's like swings, there's gotta be so much space between the swings and the next equipment to do there, and their company says that what they have works,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I think they actually listened and gave us something that we can work with.
Yeah, I definitely like this one. I think if we add something for the smaller kids down underneath, even if something else has to go away, I feel like that'd be really helpful. Swings, I mean, I think that might be a better compromise. I don't know cost wise if they would be a better option than the car wash. The car wash is also really cool. But that might be something we leave up to the community if the cost is similar. Would you rather have swings or would you rather have that? When we do have our community forum, but I think that because it's a neighborhood playground, if we don't have something for the little ones, to be able to interact with,
Mhm.
then, and it's only for the older kids, like, I think this one would probably be classified as 5 to 12, like
Yep,
Heritage is.
exactly. Yep.
And I mean, we're talking young families living down there in Emerald Ridge, so.
Yeah.
I feel like something for them would be really good. And if it's not going to be that kind of thing, I feel like we at the very minimum need to have swings so that they can take their toddlers or whatever and swing
Okay.
them or something, so.
And can we look at if we do like this printed roadway type of thing, like do something like we've done at Diamond Crest where you have interactive things printed on it that they
Right.
can play with,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I
even
think-
something
I
like
think that's
that
great
where
too.
that's, you know, silhouettes of buildings or cars or like the
Mhm.
snake we have that's, you know.
Yeah.
Hopscotch type of stuff, whatever.
Cool. I like the walking trail. I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be great.
You make sure you print QR codes on all this stuff to the legacy fund, so.
Yeah.
people, if you like this park, help us do more.
A request that I would like to put in is when they do the trail, is that it makes a full circle, even if it's an 8
Yeah.
at some point, but like a full circle around would
Yep.
be fantastic.
What's
and
great
it's
about this
wide
park is
enough
we,
for a stroller,
what's
so-
great about this park is that we're not partnering with anybody.
Right, right, so we can do it the way we like.
We waiting on anybody, it'll be on us.
And I mentioned, I like asked a quick question before the meeting that we would be able to have a handicap accessible space or two on the street dedicated for,
Yeah, my
This
vision
later.
is to have, when we put in the trail in there, it'll be a spot where it'll be large enough for a handicap spot and then where you'd be able to get out and then go right up the
like an
attach there.
unload.
Yeah,
area.
an unload
Okay.
area. Yeah, thank you.
Don't want to build a playground and then not be able to get to it. Yeah, I think that's great. I think especially if, like we talked about, if you just take that sidewalk either all the way up to the ground structure or bring the ground coverage all the way out to the, it's just less grass to mow.
Yeah.
And I feel like that'd be great. Okay, will the ground in this rendering be similar to what's at Diamond Crest, or will it be similar to what we're doing at Smith's Fork?
So this one is pour in place, which is similar to what was at Smith's Fork before. But pour in place is still not a bad material. It's just, it's gonna cost a little bit more.
Okay.
So when what we were doing the last part, where we were just resurfacing and then adding, which was at a cheaper cost for us.
Right.
But obviously that servicing at Smith's Fork lasted 20 years, 15, 20 years, so.
Okay.
Not terrible.
Yeah, I just.
And
wasn't
we
sure
can,
what
we could
exactly
always
it was.
recommend, they would do any of the ones that we that we can get though.
Okay.
Their specialty is pour in place, so.
The pour in place, like like you said, it's what we've done at Smith's. Is it what we're doing now at Smith's Fork, or is it what we had at Smith's Fork?
That's what we had at Smith's
Okay.
Fork, yeah.
And it worked really well. And they would be able to do like the snake thing we have on the ground up there
Yep.
or something like that. Okay. Awesome. All right. Does anybody have any other questions, thoughts, concerns on that first one?
All right. We'll go ahead to Compan, so that Compan, they're the next one that submitted. I kind of talked to three of you before I gave you the letter. Damien, do you have the letter by you?
Yeah. Do you want me to
Yes.
read it?
No, I got it.
You got it? Okay.
I got it. I can read.
I
still.
feel like it would be best to read it as you, before you look at it, because he provided some points in there. Let me grab one.
Yeah.
So the change was made to move from automotive theme to just standard equipment. He felt this better utilizes the space and budget. The inclusive swing was a major topic for this site. He had chosen not to add this option to the site as he is a parent of 2 kids with special needs and an amputee ex-wife. I understand the frustration of not having the resources for children. The challenges of the swing at Emerald Ridge is the site has no dedicated parking lot to unload and load while a child is in a wheelchair. The site size doesn't allow for other inclusive play items, making this the only piece for kids on a wheelchair other than the trail. Smith has a lot of great trails with better access for wheelchairs. Compan will not install a wheelchair swing without a fence per guidelines to ADA, CPSI, and Compan insurance providers. The basketball courts, the proposal is for a half court option with a basketball and soccer goal. The painted lines and all concrete work is included. The half court option was discussed at the meeting last October. Updating the prices, like I said, both were unsure of full pricing. He believes with the half court option, we'd be sitting around 421,000 in the budget. Like I said, they're gonna try to get us more detailed stuff on budget for now. So as we look into this, it's kind of my feedback right away. I do think they kind of hit what you were talking about. They have an area for 2.5 to 5, and they have the area for the 5 to 12, as well as the inclusive pieces that we were asking for. So it looks like there is a musical piece on the side, and then underneath the playground, there's some also more interactive stuff with swings and rollies and different things like that. So I think, like you said, if we're looking to add a wheelchair accessible swing, I think you give up some things as far as price and space. I think it's just up to this committee on what would be the need. So
Right.
still, like I said, this is a first draft for them, because the last one was really just to get stuff together for the grant, and we have time to make changes and work with a company. What you guys feel? So if we can scrap it and tell them to make a whole new one, make sure it includes that stuff, or we can pick around this and get it to where we like it. So
I know they only had a month. I would have liked to have seen what we asked for. I appreciate this. Like, this
Mhm.
is great. I get the budget. I get he thinks we don't like have any parking space at all for that. If we're willing to make one, like that changes that situation. A lot of what I hear from the disabled community is that they don't want to be fenced off separately from everybody else. And so that kind of like puts a negative on that for me.
I think Haley made a point on that, was like, that just doesn't seem inclusive.
Right. It's not inclusive.
So,
It's
well, and the other thing too, like, this is very, very busy. Like, when you talk about maintenance standpoint, this is like 3 slides, that's 3 slides you gotta replace, right? Like, this is busy. There's some of these things we can add to like the music thing, we can add to any park. We can put that on the legacy fund as a auction item that somebody can go and fund themselves, right? Like, if
Yeah.
Smithville Music Studio decides that they want to pay for it to put it in for us, great.
I had a Girl Scout come up to me at the career fair and asked, she lives in that neighborhood, and asked if she could do a project for an equipment piece.
that'd be great.
Yeah, like there's a lot of that. My daughter's Girl Scout troop's getting me work on their silver award, like, and then the gold, they have to spend more time on it. So there's
Yeah.
groups that have been involved with us as the Parks
Yeah.
Department for,
Yeah, she was the
6
one that
years
did
now.
the Gaga ball pit.
yeah. So
Yep.
and they're doing these, they're thinking about the Parks Department, the scouts, they have me come, they've called you, they call me.
Yep.
They're thinking about us now when they do projects. So I get it. They're like, they don't think this is the right spot for an ADA swing, but I think that was one of our primary objectives for this park, was to make sure it had ADA accessible features. So
I like the structure equipment overall. I think if we could do maybe instead of the rocker cars that are on this one, the little sit in and spin thingy that's in this guy.
Okay.
I feel like that might be a better option. I don't know,
Like
maybe
their-
that's still getting broken or not.
their
but-
rocker car has like 4 springs on it over here too, but unlike the.
Well, they have this little guy. That one.
I know that too, yeah.
Yeah, that I
But
was
that's gonna
thinking
get
maybe
broke
that would
too.
be.
Mhm.
See, it doesn't rock though, so I
It
thought
does,
maybe
it's
it
got
wouldn't
springs
get.
on it.
Oh, there's 2 of them. Hold on. No. This
Oh, the
one
spinny-
rocks,
yeah.
this one spins.
spinny
If
one.
you sit in it, spin. What I was talking about to like maybe add to this one is some of the things that are in this, just for like as an example of like moving the ball thing in and out of like the little, just those plates that they put
Yeah.
on the outside of
Yeah.
them. If we could put a couple of those underneath this other structure, I feel like it's great. I love
We had
seeing
those
the
at-
little ones playing in the same space as the older ones safely. I think
We had
that's
those at the old
awesome.
heritage structure, didn't we? The
Mhm.
walls that are inactive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
there's
were
like a whole
yeah.
bunch of stuff like
Are those
that.
Yeah.
modular where we can like swap them out and?
Yeah.
Okay, because you've been to a lot of the new conferences with the newer stuff.
So there's like a maze at Heritage in the 2 to 5 structure. You could take that and put a whole new one there if you wanted
Okay.
to.
Yeah, because before they were pretty much like welded or bolted in,
Yeah.
but the new stuff, they're making it
Yeah,
more.
so you
modular.
can change them out. Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff is being made with anodized materials and UV resistant plastic, so it's gonna last longer. But we do have some trees over there, which is nice.
Yeah, I like the little swing that they have underneath too. That's kind of like attached to the
Mhm.
ground, I guess. It doesn't swing.
I
like
just
a
see
ton.
kids flipping backwards.
It's pretty cool. It's attached,
I
like
know.
it won't like flip
But
them
you still
out.
flip back.
it looks like, but like, I like the down low things that they have as options for the little guys to play with. And I feel like, again, like what you said, if the musical thing is something we can add into this.
We'll just put a
Around the
camera there,
outside
so when
edges
JV
and-
decides to get in the hammock, we can get a video of it.
Well, you know.
Can you guys bring up your comment on the basketball court?
Oh, yeah. What you were saying about the basketball court thing.
Oh.
For the board,
Somebody's gonna get killed.
yeah.
Maybe just injured.
And then we
Yeah,
get sued.
lose a face, like
Yeah.
get some bars in your face.
I would be interested to know, like, do they have any reports of people getting hurt? Cause I'm,
A lot of places have those.
I've
And you
seen
let
them in
up,
places.
but I've watched these guys play ball too, and they're kind of
Yeah, I
violent.
mean, I was playing downtown last night and we would have died if that was there, so.
It's full court, so like.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if
Oh, yeah,
it's
when you're coming
half
full court, yeah.
court, Maybe put that on the other end of the court.
Yeah, do half court
Okay.
basketball on one side, soccer
Yeah.
on the other, and then whatever it's being used for.
Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'd rather
I
put
mean, I
that-
could See this, just me being crazy enough to find that stuff and grab a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get your legs stuck in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wall, you
Yeah.
know, like. something,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
Hey, hang on and throw me a new.
I think what I'll ask first is if that sits back in the grass and the hoop could come over a little further where it's in the right spot, or if we could split those.
Have just more clearance.
Like one side would have that and then the other.
Yeah,
I agree, cause I do think kids are gonna be climbing
Yeah.
that to hang off the rim.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Like
would do
just for
that.
those.
Even now, I'd still do
Yeah.
that.
And-
Thank
yeah.
you for your honesty.
yeah,
I like the idea of having like the soccer goal and the basketball stuff like all in the same area, but I think you're right. I think if we stick with like a half
I-
court version, I think it would be neat to have soccer at one end and
Well,
basketball
I
at
think for the
other.
price of adding those metal soccer goals, we could buy some really nice goals to just put in the grass.
Right. And there's
Yeah.
enough space there that like
We
we
could
don't
provide
need,
some, yeah.
there's not like a road over in that back half where we need to keep the balls up
No.
there. So
Yeah,
kids aren't gonna be running into the street.
soccer, we're expanding soccer at Smiths Fork. We got plenty of soccer
Okay.
space.
This
You-
is what I was talking about.
yeah. You think, so
When
if
we
I,
go around, if we could just
yeah,
Just
Like how
connect it,
Xavier's did.
make it one big circle.
Yep.
Just, that's all I want.
for Compan, would you like me to ask what they could do for something like wheelchair accessible in this area?
I mean, they
if
said
they're
in their letter they
interested-
can't.
Because you could also, I mean, there are playgrounds where you can have a long ramp where you could get up into the area. So that could be an option too, if they can't probably a swing, some way they could still get up into the play equipment. Is an option.
It's not, yeah. Yeah,
I don't.
it's
Yeah.
huge,
To me,
but, right.
this
we
is
do
2
too.
pages of why they don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's what I get too. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like, we read it, but we think if you're gonna do a park here, do it our way or don't do it.
My thought is this, I feel like if they want to work with us, give us what we asked for. And I'm happy to look at another one, with the specifications that we put out. I get they won't do their swing in a fenced area. I don't want to swing in a fenced area, so,
Nobody would use it.
do what?
Nobody would use it.
Right.
They don't
So
want the
Okay.
kids playing
Well,
it.
and what I like about the one with AFCO is I have played with my kid on both of these structures. And they are great for both kids in wheelchairs and kids not in wheelchairs. And they're actually designed for both to be playing at the same time. It's inclusive for both kids to be playing in the same piece of equipment at the same time. And so I really like that that's inclusive. If they want to give it another go, I'd love to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to have options for the community. If we decide, if we don't get anything back from them and they're not interested, that's also fine. No hard feelings.
Yeah.
But I would, if that happens, I think personally, I think with the AFCO one, like we have a really good start. We give them kind of our options. And then I think when we go to the community, we have like, would you rather have a car wash or a swing set? Would you rather have this or that? And like, let people choose.
Yeah.
But I think we have non-negotiables of the swing, the merry-go-round, and then
Yeah.
I like the theme. I think they did a
Yeah.
great job with the theme. I do think if you pull the cars out, I'm not sure the theme holds is the only issue.
That's true.
You can do something with cars still though. We could do some cars that aren't on.
We could do some
We
cars.
could do
Right.
fixed cars.
I think fixed cars would be fine, or even,
Okay.
you know, I know you see them for like where kids take pictures, just a car cut
Yeah,
out
yeah.
Okay.
with like, they can like get
Yeah.
into it and pretend. I
Yeah.
think that's fine. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to rock.
So,
how Danny
yeah,
tells
so
people
as you can see, I only had two, so we had, no,
I'm a
and back in
professional.
January and October, we had AB Creative. They're the ones that did Heritage and Diamond Crest. We were, the guy who I was working with no longer works there.
Okay.
And we just found out in August, and they've been super hard to get stuff through. There's a lot of things going on there because I think they're short staffed with what's going on. But I do think they don't, we asked them at Diamond Crest for a swing like this and they didn't have one either.
Okay.
They gave us the swing that we have there now, and so I think if we're looking for that specific swing, as I think we are, I think AFCO's currently the only one that's able to provide that specific one. So what I could do is I could reach out to other firms. Like I said, we have time.
Yeah.
It's just up to you guys. If you're okay with only looking at two, we could look at
It's
three.
$500,000. I think you need to try to get a third.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think we should try to look at
Okay.
least one more.
Yep.
If it doesn't do anything else, it gives us more feedback to get
Yep.
like the playground that we want.
yep,
Right.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Well, and I wonder, are these the ones that did the Liberty Playground?
the AFCO,
Mhm.
I'm not sure.
It's the same merry-go-round.
Is
It
it?
doesn't mean it's the same company. I don't
Okay.
know how that works amongst the
There's
playground.
probably
community,
plates
but
on it. You can go look.
I'll find out.
Probably.
Because we have plates on the one at Heritage.
You can probably just
Who
ask
it's made
Haley.
by.
She could ask somebody. She would.
Yeah, that's true.
She works with seniors. She'd probably not.
What park was it at Liberty?
It's the city park in Liberty.
City Park?
The new one?
Yeah.
It's off of 291.
Yeah.
Down past like
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah. But they have almost this exact, it's just not the same color, like it's not the same color scheme, but it's almost the exact thing.
Okay.
But it's really great. We like it a lot.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep, I'll get you a third. And then, like I said, to repeat the timeline, we have time, but once we feel like we're comfortable getting something out to the public, I think the next step is go to this neighborhood and have them
agreed.
pick as well,
Yeah,
give
that,
feedback.
Timeline on that. When do we need to have that
Well,
done by? so
when
that
it's
we
not
can-
cold.
yeah, that's gonna be, that's coming. Yeah, so that's kind of the thing of, if we don't, we only meet once a month and we're not, technically, we don't have anything scheduled in November.
If we did
Yeah,
the meet,
We're not looking again till,
but if we did
yeah.
the meet in December and we did it in the senior center, or we
No,
did it
no, we do
here.
it at the park.
Well, I know that's the ideal situation, but if it's cold. I'm like, so that we can get it scheduled and get it taken care of and get their thoughts and opinions on it. I'm like, we can do it here, we can do it at the senior center. I would like to get everything situated as quickly as possible. What's our
Yeah.
timeline to have this done? Spring? Summer?
I mean, the original timeline was to try to be ready to go for summertime. So once school gets out, so you think into May would be a good timeline to have stuff completed, at least in progress of build.
Yeah.
That would be
Why
ideal.
Diamond Crest went up.
Yeah, so
I would say-
Diamond Crest, we purchased and finalized everything in December, the 1st of December, and then they started construction in March and we're done by the end of April. So that kind of puts a timeline together. So it's like two to 3 months, depending on weather, to get it built. So,
If we went along the same timeline, hopefully it's all built the same speed. We
So-
want to have this taken
Yeah.
care of in December.
yeah, so we could always discuss how we want to get public input, because obviously we want to get the neighborhood first and foremost. But you can always do public comment to the whole community as well.
Well, so
Um,
so do you think we can meet the timeline of having a trick or treat table there on Halloween?
To get a
First,
rendering.
yeah.
I don't think so, because we won't meet again until after that.
I mean, even if we use what we've got started.
Mhm.
We could always show what we get. And if we get
Yeah.
more, I'm fine with like not having seen that before the community sees
Yeah.
it. And just getting thoughts and opinions, like suggestion box.
Just do a
and-
table at the park on Halloween and like,
Mhm.
because they're gonna be walking around the
Yeah.
neighborhood anyway.
Maybe we do kind of like what we did.
Oh,
for
you're
the-
thinking get something at the park.
Yeah, just
On
set
our
up
Halloween.
a table with the Parks and Rec tablecloth and have a bowl of candy so people can come by and trick or treat it and then say, I like that, I like that, I don't like that.
We could do like, when
I
we were
could like-
doing the
Because we could
big
wonder,
plan.
yeah,
We all had stickers. and
Yeah.
We went through
Yeah.
and like, you
Yeah.
get so many
I think
stickers and you
it's-
go through and like sticker your favorite things. And I think that
we
might
could get,
be
we could
a
have
good
those
option.
renderings there for what we got here and put like a white piece of paper next
Yeah.
to it and have them write what
And just
they,
give them out pumpkin stickers or.
what they like and don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah, I think that'd be great.
I'll pass out candy that night.
To at the very least, just get feedback from the community. And then if we can have a meeting scheduled to like have a public something that people can come and give opinions on, that's like less formal, obviously, because we don't,
Yeah.
that'd be a lot of people. But like be able to get thoughts
Have
and
them come
opinions. We
somewhere.
could like have a little flyer
Yeah.
and let them
We've
know.
done, I
like-
mean, yeah, we've done. The Public Works have done like, hey, this neighborhood come to City Hall for this public meeting.
Well, I think
Yeah.
with those neighborhoods, since we've got the duplexes that are there, we could get a lot of them
Yeah.
trick or treating. There's that little, the housing authority that's right there.
Yeah.
USDA Housing. They have a meeting room, I think. And, or we could put in like their newsletter, and then Hills of Shannon has an HOA where we
Yeah.
could talk to them
Yeah.
directly.
Depending the weather too. I mean,
Yeah.
I could be outside for a little bit, to make
Yeah.
sure public.
Yeah, I mean-
see the area. So
We could
during
have
the
a couple
daytime, the
days.
sun's
people
out,
to
yeah.
be deterred by weather and not come out and give their opinions.
Yeah.
And so my thought was like, if we have to have it in
Yeah.
a room, we could
Yeah.
just have it.
We could do
here
some,
or
we
have
could
it at
do
the senior
door
center.
hangers too, where we can create,
Yeah.
they could go somewhere and.
QR
and-
code. and
Yeah,
Fill it out.
Oh, I like that too. QR
Yeah.
code and then fill out your submission.
I think the last 3 Halloweens, we've had 100 degrees, snow and.
Right.
ice.
We don't
I
know what it's gonna look like.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we've had like New Year's where you could go on the lake. Like, we didn't get ice or anything until I think our first snow event was until like what, February this year? Like the school, every time we got snow or something, it was a dusting on the weekend. It didn't really hit us during the school day.
Matt, could we do, I like the QR code idea with maybe a Google form with like age of your child
Yeah,
and then your thoughts and opinions so that we can kind of look at that data. Cause like I
Yeah.
said, I feel like having younger kid things is
Yeah.
really important, but maybe that's not the one. And so I feel like that might be helpful for us as well.
so we may also get, we could also get things they don't want, like maybe they don't want a basketball court.
Right,
or-
maybe they don't want a basketball court because the riffraff.
I think one of our board members who lives in that neighborhoods would be wanting a basketball court.
I think basketball courts everywhere.
So I mean, this park is, technically for that neighborhoods in Hills of Shannon. or
Yeah.
Hills of Shannon,
Yes.
yes, Hills of Shannon.
Oh, it's for Hills of Shannon.
Well, it could, there, it's in walking distance, so it's all connected through
Neighborhood park
sidewalks.
within a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, so that's what we're not looking just at those neighborhoods, that's Hills of Shannon as well.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
And then
And
is that
what is-
Ashmont too?
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
that one
technically.
that's
Ashmark, yeah.
north of Hills of Shannon, yeah, okay.
I don't know, there's a lot of kids in Ashmont though.
Bunch of old people.
Yeah.
But hey, if they wanna come play.
Yeah.
Just an extra playground, because the
I mean,
playground they
maybe
have
a
at Hills
walking
of Shannon
trail,
needs,
That might be a
should
good
help.
option for
Yeah.
them, so. All right, any other thoughts and opinions on Compan? Would their ground be the same?
yeah,
basic
pour in
idea?
place, yeah.
I noticed they don't have like any kind of concrete separation in the rendering. I know that we also did this quickly. Will there
Yeah.
be some form of something? Do we know?
Concrete, we just figure out.
Yeah,
Just
At
the
the end.
edging?
Yeah.
I feel like pour in place straight to grass is gonna be a mistake. Okay,
Dealt with it.
all right.
we have new business next, if any.
Anybody have anything else on the playground? Take a quick thought in your brain. Any other thoughts? Good. We talked about lights. We already did that. I think we're good. Okay. So we're gonna move on from that to new business.
So I know Matt mentioned it in his report on the senior.
Trainer grant, yep.
Senior grant, but there's 2 mayor advisory committees right now that are just informal committees I gave them 2 questions to reach out to community members to answer. One is on seniors in the community, not the senior center, but seniors community wide. So they were researching that. So when Matt mentioned the staff position, that's not just for senior center, that's, community wide. And the other thing was community center. I know a lot of people on this board work really hard on the Parks Master Plan and the comprehensive plan, things like that. Those groups are not to, devalue the work that we've done in the past or anything. It's just getting another group together, and I'll probably do a couple more to say, what is a community center for you guys? Because in the Parks Master Plan, the comp plan, I think it discussed the distributed rec idea, which I still like. A single site community center would be difficult in this community for many, many reasons. Utilities, land, things that we don't have access to readily as a city. And one of the things that I've seen floating out there is this idea that the USDA hands out money for community centers. I talked to the USDA yesterday. It's a nice long conversation. If you look at those grants and loans that are out there, and I just sent Matt an email with a summary on it. In order to receive a grant, at our population, our poverty has to be in the 90% range. Which means
We don't.
90% of our households make less than, and I think the number's now in the $50,000 range, and we're at about $90,000 our average household income here. The other option is a loan, which a nonprofit would have to take, not the city. The city can bond and things like that with our revenues. USDA does work with nonprofits to do a loan program. They usually still do partner with cities on that loan program.
Does our legacy fund qualify? Are they a 501c3?
What's that?
The legacy fund, are they a 501c3?
They are, but here's the caveat to that. The legacy fund has some money coming in. And I think we set up a separate 501c3 for it. I know
Or
also
which one?
legacy fund board.
No, we didn't do.
It's not
no.
501c, it's just.
No,
nonprofit.
it's just through, the
Yeah.
money comes through the city.
Greater Kansas City Foundation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, North End Community Foundation. Yeah, it's,
Okay.
yeah, so you'd have to be, most communities will set up like a, Smithville, Citizens for Smithville nonprofit, Citizens Smithville Community Center nonprofit, that has to show revenues to be able to pay that loan. So the YMCA study adjusted for how materials and things are now, to build the facility that they discussed, which is about 30,000 square feet with a pool, similar to Platte City. Cost about $30 to $40 million to build in today's dollars, if we could get land and utilities and all those things. So you'd be looking at a,
Doesn't include land.
no, that would probably, yeah, it depends on if we could get land that has utilities on it. I don't know if you guys have noticed, the school district has a bus barn they're building, transportation facility. There's a giant pile of dirt on there right now just to compact the dirt. That pile of dirt, if they were gonna actually use that to fill, is about $300,000 just for the dirt. That's how much dirt costs right now. If they're gonna keep it, they're not, I think they're just using it to compact and get rid of it. But if you had to fill a space like that, like what they had to do at Price Chopper a couple of years back to fill that space, it's a lot of money. So that nonprofit would have to show revenues of around $4 to $5 million a year in order to pay their loan payments and operation costs. So for those of you interested in a community center, if you're going to be part of those conversations, they are having those conversations. That's the revenue source you have to look at. And it's nice that they had an EDC last night, because this is our revenues are up for sales tax 14%. But if we took the entire park sales tax for the entire year, we would only have about what, $700,000? Yeah, so that's not $5 million. So we're a little short.
And I
So
feel
anyway.
like we're just reiterating things that we learned during the master plan. which-
I know, but sometimes we have to reiterate them
Right.
because there's new people involved. We've got a lot of new people moving to the community.
Yeah, for
Um,
Jeremiah, it was for the idea of a community center was, we did a 10-year parks master plan to upgrade parks in general. And then at the end of the 10 years, it was to see where we are as far as population and the need for a community center. So we adopted that in 2021. So a little bit of ways, but it wasn't shied away because we know the community wants it. So plan is just the current moment. At the time when we adopted the master plan, we were just a little farther away than we could be. So
Probably not. You're fine. I'm sure someone else has asked it regardless.
And I don't know, but I do know, what would be the idea of inviting a YMCA?
So we did the YMCA we already did the YMCA feasibility study.
Yeah.
YMCA would love to be here, just like I mentioned with the
I'll send
poverty
you that
number.
study. I'll
Um,
send you that.
so the feasibility study, what they look at is, yes, they would draw from other YMCA's. They understand that in the study because there is a radius, right? But think about it this way: if we built a community center by Diamond Crest, right? There's a lot of land up there. There's utilities, there's sewer, there's water, there's road. If you live in Forest Oaks, you are closer to a lot of other community centers than that community center. It's 15 miles from Forest Oaks to Diamond Crest. If we build it on the south end, then it's overlapping
Yeah.
4 or 5 other community centers. That's why we started talking about distributed rec, where we have basketball at some place, we have that walking track. Just imagine if we put any of our, even 169 is not a major street compared to some cities. Imagine putting in a competition, a swim competition and a gymnastics competition at Price Chopper at the same time you're going to get groceries.
Right.
Your traffic is gonna be terrible. It's not gonna be great, right? So that's why we started looking at distributed direct, but also, yeah, we did that study and they said, yeah, we might pull some people from Platte City because it's a newer facility and they like it. But what Platte City, Excelsior Springs, even
County.
Platte County, theirs is a county sales, county-wide sales tax. So they have the Platte City one and the Parkville one. Those are both Platte County, but the one that's in Platte City is close enough. Parkville is probably outside of that radius. They're dependent on program dollars. So if you're eligible for free and reduced lunch, you're eligible for a reduced YMCA membership. So the YMCA gets that subsidy. And that's what helps them justify. They'd love to operate it if we spend $1 million a year with them and spend 30 million to build it. But they operate.
So the Y, yeah. so
No,
YMCA
YMCA doesn't build.
So, yeah,
So
so
YMCA
that's an educational thing of YMCA's is even, is not like, because basically what they told us was that they don't build just small YMCA's, like they want to build, they're gonna come in, they're gonna build, they want the top things, they know what the revenue is gonna be, what
30,000 square
yeah,
feet.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't want that kind of people.
But that
Yeah,
also is,
the North Kansas City one was a YMCA or.
No, it is now.
Yeah, it is now.
it
But
was originally a
basically,
community
yeah,
project.
they build it, we build it, they come, and then they don't take any losses though. So until revenue is made, the city is on the hook for all losses. And then once revenue is made, they keep that because obviously they're bringing in the members and everything
Right.
like that. So.
And if you look at that study in 2018, when they did that study, they projected at least the first 5 years we would lose money. So that means that would come out of all the other things we want to do. And
Which we just did the master plan
Yeah.
to accomplish.
And I think the hit that I know I had membership at Platte County YMCA for a little while, but every time we wanted to go swim, it was closed because they couldn't staff it. And that's the other problem we run into that I've tried to reiterate with folks is Aspen has been with us for what now? 6
Less than
months?
6 months.
6
yeah.
months. Matt created that position or brought that position to the board, I think 3 years ago.
When I was still a rec manager.
Yeah. Originally brought in as a 30-hour week employee, and then last year's budget, we brought in as a 30-hour week employee. He had it posted for over a year, never got it
Yeah,
filled, right?
that's when Brittany was here, she had it
Yeah.
posted for over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it to a 40-hour position and didn't have a ton of applicants.
Yeah, we had 4.
So just on, that's just a rec coordinator, that's a rec coordinator position. Imagine lifeguard. The biggest problem I tell people with lifeguard, I know a lot of the kids lifeguard at Oceans of Fun. It's over $20 an hour. And you get to go to Oceans of Fun every day. What do we pay our seasonal staff? 12, 14?
15.
12.50 is
yeah,
minimum, right?
15, yeah. A lot of people are paid by game, so it's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a tough sell for a business to, that's the other thing, like a business could come in, right? F45 is coming in as Zona Rosa now, but that's because they've got they're a public company now. They can gamble. We can't gamble with tax dollars on hoping that people, we'd have to have 300 plus members to start to get going.
Yeah, I'll say
Yes,
that
we
too.
sent that out. We spent quite a bit of time with them. Yeah, YMCA, when we met with YMCA, they're like, we'd love to have a YMCA here.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to deal with
Yeah.
filing paperwork for program dollars. You guys just pay us money and operate it. Like,
And and even to redo these feasibility studies too is cost. I mean, the YMCA study in 2018 cost $25,000.
yeah, just for them to come in and they called people too. And
Yeah, they do.
I talked to one of the people that got it was like, they would call you the phone survey, and it wasn't just like, how old are you? How many kids you have? They're like, how old are you? 35. How many kids do you have? 2. How old are they? What sports do they like doing? Would you be like, it was a 45 to hour and a half long conversation. And they documented all, they gave us a ton of data.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things, pools always come up, but
They did a
childcare.
Yeah, there was a pool feasibility study done in 2013 as well.
Yeah.
So
Childcare is a big,
it was, I believe Melissa Wilson was the main one on it. She's an
Yeah.
alderman for us now. And believe it was just cost.
yeah. A lot of places have filled, like Platte City pool was filled in. And I think Cameron was talking about filling theirs in, because a lot of them are cracked. Where was the one we were just talking about that was cracked? Was it Columbia or somewhere?
Yeah, it was
So
Columbia.
yeah, a
No,
couple of them, they like got,
It was in St. Louis. It was in St. Louis. It was in,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just right outside St. Louis.
yeah, they get a crack in them, they can't afford to fix it, so they just fill them.
Well, when I moved there, was there a pool over here out 92? What was that?
That was a tilapia farm for a long time.
Yeah.
That was private property,
Yeah.
yeah. But we,
But yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
the gist of, but that meeting is on there. If you want, yeah, the meeting is October 23rd at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
To discuss that stuff, but I'll keep you guys updated on what the aldermen talk about, because they have to give a report to Damien
Yeah.
here coming up, and then he'll give them next steps for the future. So I'll keep this board updated.
yeah,
on
if you
that.
want to go to the community, you said 23rd, 10 o'clock, I'm sending some pizzas there, so you guys go eat pizza.
Where is it at?
Where's that?
Housing Authority,
Yeah, that's Senior Housing Authority, just right behind Off Bridge Street.
bring
Bridge
lots of
first.
questions.
Back here?
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
have it's hard, me and Matt can find parking, there is parking on both the east side and west side of the building. Building's kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah, the biggest thing with the pool for me that I've learned during the master plan was like, if somebody handed us the land, dug the hole in the ground and built it, and then handed it to us,
Yeah.
we couldn't afford to run it. Like, someone gifted the entire situation to us.
Yeah.
We can't afford to keep the pool clean, staff it, run it, keep the lights on. And I'm like, if we can't even afford to run it, like, we have no business even trying to like dig a pool in the ground. Especially when we're trying to update everything else, which is why we did the master plan, and it was not a waste of time.
yeah,
And we're
and
all happy
definitely
with how it
it's-
turned out.
it's always about priority, what's the need. So I
Yep.
mean, needs change, but until we get that word, then
Right,
we gotta keep on our track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something we need to continue to look at and revisit, and that's
Right.
part of the
For sure.
reason that we're starting the Legacy Fund fundraiser, so that someday we might be fortunate enough, like Excelsior Springs, where at one of those fundraisers, 3 different people decide to write $1 million checks. That'd be great. That'd be a great problem to have, but we
We're
worked
here
really,
to
really
save.
hard and had a really great dinner, and people did a lot of work. And at the end of the day, I think we cleared $13,000.
Yep.
So
which was.
we're
still
not
a
quite
good
there
goal.
yet.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a great fundraiser,
Yeah.
but it's not a pool.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, I appreciate you guys all coming today.
yeah,
If there's no new business. then
Motion to
we're good.
adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.